Welcome back to Up Front. We're talking about the state legislature's 2015 agenda with Speaker Robin Vos and Minority Leader Peter Barca. I have to begin with Speaker Vos. I hope you're not offended by this, but tell me what the future of right-to-work legislation is. The governor keeps saying it's a distraction, doesn't seem excited about you guys dealing with this. Are you going to deal with it? If so, when?
Well, we put out a forward agenda last October that had all kinds of ideas to grow the economy, deal with the issues of dependency in our society. I am a strong supporter of right to work, but the proposal wasn't in our agenda, so I want to be honest about that. I think right to work would be good for Wisconsin. I think that giving workers the freedom to choose to join a union is something that democracy should be based on. Having a system where you have to join a union whether you want to or not, I think that's undemocratic. So do I believe in the concept? I sure do. I think if the proposal came up in our House today, it would pass without almost any question.
Are you going to allow it to come up and deal with it quickly, as Senator Fitzgerald said?
I've been pretty honest about it. I think that this is an issue that needs to start in the Senate. The Assembly takes lead on lots of topics. School accountability is a good one. We are out there in front trying to show what our ideas are. I know school accountability is important. That's why it's our #1 priority, AB1. Right to work is also important for many, but I think the public discussion hasn't been had. I want to see the Senate actually take up this issue, show us they can pass it, and I know I can get it through my chamber, too.
Is it possible it just might be kicked down the road for a while?
I hope not. I mean, I hope the Senate follows on Senator Fitzgerald. I think he was bold in saying we want to take it up right away. I hope they do.
Peter Barca, are there Republicans in the legislature you talk with or you know who have reservations about right-to-work legislation?
Well, I think the reservations are growing dramatically because when you have over 300 private contractors that say actually the opposite of what the Speaker just said, quit imposing on our liberty to have agreements with unions that work effectively for these 300 companies in Wisconsin, many of whom, probably most of whom, give to Republicans. And I think that has slowed things down somewhat because I think they're taking a second look at this. Former speakers like John Gard, who used to be a proponent of right to work, now sees it a little bit differently. Former Speaker Fitzgerald, they said as they've analyzed this now, they can see that it's desperately wrong for Wisconsin.
Well,
in right-to-work states, they make on average, $5,000, $6,000 less than the other states. Why would we want to bring down the income for whether it's union or non-union workers? That's exactly what will happen. Make no mistake about it if right-to-work passes in Wisconsin.
What do you say to the folks who say this is about personal freedom? People's ability to choose whether or not they want to join a union. What do you say about that?
I want the right to work out in my gym. I go to the Y. Why should I pay dues? I'm helping society when I work out. But obviously, if you're getting a benefit, you have to pay the freight. You can't have freeloaders. When I owned a business, I would love to belong to my chamber without paying dues. In fact, we have a letter. Somebody asked to not pay dues in their chamber. They said, well, no, you have to pay dues. Well, if you're getting a benefit, you can't be a freeloader and not pay the
chamber member in order to open up a business? No, you weren't, because under the right-to-work system, you can still join a union. The union has to actually show that it's worth something, which is why in many states where they have right-to-work, union membership's actually gone up because the unions provide a benefit to workers. But under our current system, somebody might have voted for a union shop 50, 60, 70 years ago. No person working today voted for that union, but every one of them is forced to be in it. That's not America. That's not democracy, and it certainly is something that unions shouldn't be afraid of to actually have the discussion of why a union shows benefits for its workers.
I'll give you a quick response.
Well, let me say this. Site Selection magazine that the governor quotes constantly did a study. What are the 10 major reasons why businesses choose to locate in a state? It wasn't in the top 10. It wasn't #1, wasn't #2, wasn't even number 10. This is desperately wrong for Wisconsin. Make no mistake about it. The credible studies that are out there show it brings down wages. And why we want to bring down wages and have a hit on the middle class in this state is beyond my comprehension. But the governor will make the final decision, because if the governor doesn't want it, it won't happen. And I'd like to see the governor show some leadership on this and say, if it hits my desk this session, I'll veto it.
I've only got about a minute left, but give me an idea of whether we're going to see action on the future of the Government Accountability Board in the near future. Do you expect that?
I do. I expect that before the end of the spring, the Government Accountability Board will look dramatically different than it does today.
And how do you feel about that as a Democrat? Are you comfortable with the way it exists today, or do you too share some concerns about the way
I am comfortable. You know, it's ironic
that... You didn't think the audit had any value?
Let me say this. I think the audit had great value, and I think there are things that need to be cleared up. But I would trust retired judges any day of the week over partisans, which is what the Republicans want to do. They want to turn the watchdog agency into a lapdog for the Republican Party, and that is a huge problem to go to that direction in this state. Now, the bigger audit was on WEDC. Not one Republican proposed either ending WEDC or changing its composition or changing the way the board's appointed. But in the case of GAB, which had much less significant problems, they want to completely throw it out because it's clear they do not trust having retired judges, lead this agency. And I think the public desperately does.
WEDC did not go on a partisan witch hunt. WEDC does not have accountability to its board in a way that is dramatically different how the Government Accountability Board does. The Government Accountability Board members themselves have said that the staff has made mistakes. They had a secret email system, and there's nobody who's called for Kevin Kennedy's head. That is disgusting.
Well, the Board of WEDC, though, in fact, just the opposite. The Board of WEDC, in fact, did say there were desperate problems, and we took the bull by the horn, and we made some changes. But even though we called and we voted to have the CEO and the COO appointed by the WEDC Board, the Republicans wouldn't pass that bill. Remarkable, isn't it?
We're going to agree to disagree on this matter, but I appreciate both of you joining us today. Peter Barca, the Democratic leader in the Assembly, and Speaker Robin Vos, the Republican leader. Thanks very much for being with us. You bet. Thank you. Next, intense pressure in the newspaper industry. What is the future of print journalism?